Now, for clarity's sake, when Sony uses the term alpha in their marketing, it generally encompasses the FX line as well. They too have the alpha logo branded on them. But in this particular section of this video, when I'm referring to alpha, it means A7 and A6000 series cameras. So if you're coming from alpha series and jumping into FX series, it's gonna feel pretty jarring. And I'm not talking about the new menu system, right? That's fantastic and more in line with the recent Alpha series cameras. They actually share pretty much the same menu UI system. I'm more talking about the button layouts. A lot of the labels are adopted from their cinema cameras like the FX9 and the FX6. So you would see words like peaking, zebra, shutter, iris. Whereas Alpha, they're not too strictly labeled. So in that regards, it might feel like you're using an entirely different camera. You might feel the sense to adhere to what the labels dictate. But know this, you can customize and make it function more like one of your Alpha series cameras, especially if you're like me, incredibly reliant on muscle memory to access our most used feature. I would suggest getting a label maker and relabeling some of the text on the camera. Might be a bit extreme, but my point is the buttons are fully customizable. Aside from the shell being different, a lot of the internals are practically Alpha series. Best example I can give is the FX3 and the A7S III. Now both of those produce the same image quality, performs roughly the same in low light because they're the same sensor, same processor, same formats, and even if it's not exactly the same, then it's almost identical. So then what makes the FX30 a cinema camera? Does it shoot in a special sauce that automatically makes it cinematic? Well, the answer is no. But it does have features that aid specifically in the cinematic process, if that makes any sense. For example, I believe we have 6 quarter-inch screw holes around the camera for more versatile rigging solutions like on a car or on a drone, or simply just add different attachments onto the camera without needing to use a full cage, if you don't want to. We have the ability to import custom user LUTs so we can use whatever look we like, and we can have the option to bake that look into the footage for faster post workflow. Personally, I don't take advantage of this feature as I, prefer the no picture profile look. And unlike previous Sony APS-C cameras, the FX30 can shoot in 10-bit 422, which gives us more data to work with in post for color grading. But by far, the most important feature is the Cine EI mode. This is probably one of the best ways to shoot S-Log3, but it does have a bit of a learning curve. So if you're serious about getting into the professional cinematography space, you're going to be getting some really good hands-on experience with this budget cinema camera. Basically, Cine EI shoots at either 2 of the cleanest ISOs, 800 or 2500, either labeled low or high. And you don't have to worry about shooting anything in between because they just completely take all of those options out for you. However, this Cine EI mode is probably the best if you are filming in a controlled environment, i.e. film sets where you can adjust the practical lights. You can add light, take away light, screw on ND filters, screw off ND filters. But if you will be filming outside a lot like I do, where you're very reliant on natural lighting or available ambient lighting, then it gets pretty tricky if you try to shoot in Cine EI. Shooting in 2 ISOs only can be very limiting. If the sun outside just moves literally 1 inch, well then that's a difference between adding and losing a stop of light. Shooting at ISO 800 would be too dark, and then maybe shooting ISO at 2500 would be too bright. So as you can see, it's not very ideal for run and gun style videos. But that's the beauty of this camera, right? It's very adaptive to any sort of situation, whether you're just producing a quick video on YouTube, or you're a huge YouTube creator, or you're trying to be a professional DP with full control of their lighting or colors, or you can be as run and gun as a documentary filmmaker.